Could I give you guys some time to think about this? Then we'll come back to it. Yeah. Nobody seems to have gotten who this person is. Okay. Are we on the right path? Okay. The reason why I'm sharing this people today is to inspire every one of you guys. As young minds, these are some of the industry key players that you should be following up with. Not only because they are making change in industries, it's also because they had a very humble beginning and they were able to thrive. Success, please mute your mic. They had a very humble beginning and they were able to thrive. Now, starting from Pato Rankin, I know most of you would know him just because he's the one that sang a couple of songs that you've heard before. But beyond the music, I'll quickly share a story with you. I know that with stories, sometimes people connect more with stories. And with this way, we are able to also touch lives. So Pato Rankin was okay. Please, host, disable the audios because they are distracting us. Please, thank you so much for that suggestion. Now, Pato Rankin was a bricklayer. I know most of you might not know this. He was a bricklayer and just a mere hawker. You know where he's from. He's actually from Ebonyi. Ebonyi people are known to come to Lagos and struggle with selling gala on the roads. Running after vehicles and trying to sell gala and see how they can make ends meet. And what they make from those businesses is just the food for that day. We're lucky if we are able to save. Nkotie, please mute your mic. David, that's Nkotie David. Please mute your mic. So, like I said, what they make from such businesses, I'm sure some of you know those kind of businesses. Those people who sell handkerchiefs, who sell gala on the roadside, and then those small businesses on the roadside. That was what he was doing with his bricklayer job that he learned how to do as a young man. And then he was able to save up even from that little to travel all the way from Nigeria to Ghana to start studying. Now, imagine the amount of limitations this young man had, and he was still able to save up to go to the university. And you know that university is not cheap. So for him to be able to find a way and find a way for himself through education, it takes a lot of discipline. And aside discipline, what else do you think he must have taken? It took strategy. There's a strategy that you have to attain as a young person and that have to keep you on your feet every time. As a young mind, you have to always learn that you can't sit around and just wait for things to happen. You have to seize the opportunity to go for whatever you want. Now, his success story is one of the key stories I was hoping that would be able to open your mind to possibilities that whatever you're going through in the university currently, I know that they're struggling. I've been through it. I've gone through it. I know what the struggle is like, especially for some of us that even put ourselves through the university to a very large extent. I know what the struggle is like. But you shouldn't limit yourself to those struggles. You should be able to build and intentionally cultivate foundations and repeat actions that help you grow to a level whereby you can now stand on your own and then achieve your future aim and business plan that you have for yourself. Now, talking about systems. What is system? Now, system is the word, the simpler way to put system is how. Is the how. The system is the how. That's how you operate. Now, the system is a foundation and interconnected habits and routines that allow you function on autopilot. That means that it makes you become more efficient. Now, what it means is that those little habits that you put together on a daily basis, and this is something that is very scarce in the young people of this generation. It was easier with large generation because there's not much distraction for these people. They wake up and then they go to work or they think about what to do. But for young minds now, there's so much drawing you into, there's so much things drawing, taking your attention from you to wake up from the bed. Now, as I'm speaking to you, how many of you are using your phone in this session? Please, if you are using your phone in this session, say yes in the comment section. Just put it, just say yes, I am using my phone, or yes, simple yes. Now, if you're using your phone and then you have tabs open, that's other applications open, yes, say yes also. Okay, now I want you to tell me one of the tabs that is open. Just name the app that is open. Put the name there. Be honest, there's no judging here. We are all learning from this session. Someone said WhatsApp. Okay, WhatsApp. Someone say method. Oh, we have a trader here. Okay. Someone say Telegram on WhatsApp. Okay. The Bible, comfort, be very serious. Someone said X and Pixel Lab, YouTube, Telegram. Comfort search is very serious. Okay. Pixel Lab. Okay, very nice. So from these replies, my estimate is that we have some focused minds in the group, this chat currently. So that's a very good thing, because I've seen applications like Canva. I've seen applications like, yes, someone said I don't believe. Yes, I don't believe. I mean, not like I don't believe. I just find it very hard to relate with that a young person would have such tab on at this time point. You know, for me, I might open such app, or maybe in the night before I sleep, or then maybe my reading sessions, or just that you just have it on. It's surprising for me, but that's a good thing. That's a very good thing. So now look at the amount of tabs that is open on your phone. If you've seen the documentary that talks about how much of our attentions these people are trying. In fact, every application is built in such a way that it draws your attention into it. So for you to be able to build a system, the first thing you have to do is to make go or end some usual habits that you're used to. Now, the system, one of the method I teach is the Pomodoro. I don't know if you people know the Pomodoro. Have you heard about that? If you've heard about it before, please say yes. Good. So this is a method that I said no. Okay. Yes, I'm going to find a way to explain it as simple as I can. Yes. Thank you so much, Chinaza. Yes, Chinaza, thank you so much for that. So it is a system whereby you're able to become more productive by breaking down the tasks into bits. And this, yes, Pomodoro. Yes, thank you so much, Praise, for spelling it out. Yes, it's not on the slide, but this is a technique I use. So thank you for spelling it out. So you can do more research about it. Now, it makes you become more productive. This is a kind of system you can learn to use in order to make yourself more efficient. Now, how do you do this? It means that when you have the task to do that, you know it's going to take a long time. There should be a break in between, because we know currently generation, the attention span has reduced drastically. So our attention cannot stay for hours again like it used to in the past. In fact, in the past, attention can stay up to 2-3 hours. People have that ability. But now, because of so much distraction, attention it's not very long anymore. Bashir Abiodun, please mute your mic. Now, it means that when you want to achieve a goal, try and do it deeply and seriously and focusedly for the first 25 minutes. You can take a 5-minute break. Then you go back to it again and do it for 30 minutes, 30 to 40 minutes. Take another break. You can take as much as 10 minutes break. Then you come back to that task again. And then this may not be just a particular task. It might be everything you want to do for the day. But take breaks in between. It's a very effective method that I've been using, because I know that when I said I want to do something and I push all distractions away, there's no how distraction will not come. And especially as a working class, you can't just ignore your email entirely like that. So those breaks are the times that you can use in scrolling. Please, how long will the conference last? What conference is she talking about? So These are some of the method you can use to break your work into pieces and bits and then make it easier for yourself. Then the next one would be skill. Now, skill is a bit personal for me because skill to me is what exactly can you do? What exactly can you do? Young people of these days are not following trend. Now, the tools, these are skills that are specific abilities you develop to process information effectively. It's just to become more efficient with whatever you're doing. Now, young people nowadays don't follow trend. Following trend would help you gain important in-demand skills. Who can tell me what of the major in-demand skills that we need in this generation as the world, at the pace of the world currently? Tell me one key skills. If you have been following trend, you should know that there's a skills that you need currently. Who can mention that kind of skill? Thank you so much. Shows that someone said graphic designing. Wow. Please. Okay, I would now oppose this. These ones are the skills you have already. I'm saying that you should be adopting right now. So I like the digital marketing, the ghostwriting, the communication. I love that. But if you are being honest and then you have been program data analysis, oh, thank you so much. This is also part of my field. I'm also into data analysis. So thank you. Someone said networking. Thank you also for networking. But the correct answer, someone said time management skill. Yes, very important. But there's one key, cybersecurity is also a good one, Chidima. Thank you. So there's a key one that with the pace of the world currently, the key skills that each person should be, you know, running towards right now should be AI prompts, artificial everything that revolves around artificial intelligence. That's including the AI prompting, video making, the graphics making, image making. And as I'm talking to you, this slide I'm sharing with you was done with AI. I almost didn't take my time. What I did was just edit one or two things. The slide, I just told the slide, I wrote down everything I wanted the AI to do for me, and it created this. So these are some skills that make your work become very, very efficient. That you don't need to waste time, sitting around. I'm not saying you shouldn't learn the main skills. I'm saying you should also learn because organizations these days want to know that you're following the trends of what is going on in the industry. If you go to an organization and they ask you for AI and you say you don't, it becomes strange to them. Like, what are you doing? How do you not know what AI is, or how do you not even know how to? Even if it's to the prompt, the ask a question from AI, just sending it, asking it, where is this? Who is this? What is this? That's a skill that is in demand. So if you're able to bring yourself up to speed with your skills, it also give you an edge. The next one would be the strategy. Now, strategy for me is the major decision-making layer. This is the path of the that deals with what strategy, how, why, and when do you want to do it. Now, it is intentional, high-level approach used to navigate challenges and achieve specific outcomes. What this is saying is that after let's start off from the system. When you build a system that, okay, the system is not the main action is the strategy. That's why I called it decision-making layer. Okay, by 2 o'clock, I want to do this. By 3 o'clock, I want to do this. Now, you have to also create a space that helps enables you. For instance, you want to work and this is going to be serious work that you have to time for. The first thing you're supposed to do is to remove your phone from that vicinity. I'm speaking so I can focus with the laptop. And then I switch off notifications. Laptop also pops up with notifications sometimes. And I switch off the notification so I'm able to focus and then see how best to get that job done. And then I use my Pomodoro's method or technique to also gain the few time that I use in resting and getting my thoughts together. And it also helps with creativity. If you're a person You need those moments where you are able to put your thoughts together so you become more creative and then more ideas come in. So you also need this sort of ability to put all this together. You need now every day as an individual, you have 86,400 seconds. Now, how you use them defines your future. Invest your time wisely in productive habits. Now, when we talk about productive habits, there's been a conflict of what productive habits really is. I'll try my best to limit our time. I respect our time. I'm with the respecter of time. I'm a very punctual person. So because of this, I'll see how best we can meet the time. I will run through it, but I want us to get something out of this today. Now, when it comes to habits, now I'm not of the party or one of the people who tell you that surfing the internet is a bad habit. Because I know that there's so much information, and if you can strategically position yourself for information, it is life-changing. Informations are life-changing. The only problem is when you spend time surfing the internet on the wrong things. That is when there's a little bit of a problem. You spend your time on the internet doing the right thing, surfing the internet, getting the right information, following the right people, listening to the right minds. It's very life changing. Sometimes opportunity comes from there, ideas come from there. But then when you spend time on the internet and then you're watching what's all this this dance trend. You're busy dancing when you can put your time to better use. I don't have a problem with if you're dancing. If your future ambition is to become a dancer, nobody is against you. You can dance and dance and dance. But if you have a future ambition to become something more than that, you're not supposed to spend your very important time dancing. You would see people sitting around learning dance and then dancing, and we can't all be influencers. Some of us are change makers that would not be making noise. So as a young mind, investing your time very wisely is very important. Now, don't get distracted easily, especially by things that are irrelevant. Try to put your time to better use. I will end this session with a story of myself, then I can open up for questions. So moving on, so time is your most valuable asset. I forgot who this person did. There's a saying that says that youth is a very beautiful thing, but it is so painful that it is given to teenagers. How many of you understand that saying? It goes something like youthfulness is a very beautiful phase of life, but it is very painful that it was given to teenagers, young people. I wish it could have been given to elderly people. That's how that saying is. I will try and find it and see if I can share it in the Telegram group later. I know, but it was by German philosophy. When the first time I read that saying, it hit me so much that I sat down and I thought about it. That what that saying is trying to say is that move from teenage age and to youth. And then youth is a phase that we are supposed to invest so much of our time in learning, growing, networking. Someone said it's John Bernard. Okay, I'll look it up. Thank you so much for that. It's so painful that we use it instead of us to use it to network, to do the right things. I wish it was given to older people. If youthfulness was given to elderly people, they would be so happy to get. They'll be so happy. Thank you so much, Ogbona. Ogbona said that is why our parents wish they knew what we knew. Mm-hmm. And this is very key because it is not all of us that know what we are supposed to. If you get what I'm saying with that. Some people are wasting this useful time they have that they are supposed to be using to build important skill. They are using it the wrong way. So spending it purposefully builds momentum towards excellence. Remember, excellence is not an act, but a habit. This is a saying by Aristotle. Yes, I remember this one. Excellence is not an act, but a habit. in everything you do, waking up, you have to be intentional. You have to put your mind to what you're doing. When you wake up in the morning, what do you want to achieve? Let me tell you what I do. Every night before I sleep, pick up a book. I write exactly what I want to do tomorrow. And this includes things that are both the frivolous time and then the focus time and everything. I just write it, go to the market, work on the Excel, and to analyze the Excel sheets. I write everything down and I put, sometimes I write it on the phone. I write it on jotter beside and I put it down. So when I wake up the next day, it's intentional. It's not like I'll not spend time doing, frivolous. Sometimes things come into this plan that things come into my plan for the day that wasn't planned. But yes, I make sure to achieve the one that I planned for. Please, if you guys can see me, drop an emoji. Make sure that you guys are focused. I really want this session to be very impactful. To see how I can. Thank you so much. Okay. I've seen only one emoji. Where's everybody? Okay, thank you so much, Julius and Miracle. But where is everyone? Are we still in this session? Are we following? Now, like I said, excellence is not an act, but an habit. Let each second fuel your growth and long-term success. Now, I'm not saying now, I don't mean you spend your 24 hours only working on achieving. Of course, there have to be a balance. That's part of the reason why I said try the Pomodoro's method or technique. It be a time that you do nothing, you're achieving nothing, you are resting, you're bringing your mind, even get creative. If you've seen the new generation of tech guys abroad, in their offices, there's always a couch. In fact, there's a pool. Sometimes there's things that just they will leave the laptop, they go and swim, drink. They'll do a couple of non productive stuff, and then they come back to their laptop. That's exactly how it should be. That's why I'm not saying that you spend your 24 hours trying to, okay, I want to achieve something. I'm not distracted. I don't know. You can always have the moment where you are doing nothing, achieving nothing, doing scrolling the internet, whatever you do. But you should also focus sometimes 4 hours to what exactly you want to achieve, what you want to do with your life. Don't get drawn into social media life. It's just like this saying that this 86,400 seconds is going, is running. And one day you just wake up and see yourself at 40, and then you realize and regret that you've not used your time the way you're supposed to, not invested it the way you're supposed to. Your 24 hours has been wasted on things that are not non-productive. Someone wants something. Okay, so now prioritizing system and effective techniques. Now replace exhausting. Or now, I said I was going to ask a question that how many of us in this place have put the all-nighter before? Read, took everything on your head, in your head rather, and you were prepared for the exam, and you go to the exam hall, then just went blank. How many of us? Or the questions that came out for some reason, your village people was in conversation with your lecturer that day, the teacher, and then things that you've not seen before. How many of you have gone through that phase or has experienced that before? Please let's communicate. Where are you guys? I want to keep this session as fast as I can. Nobody has experienced that? Or are you people sending your yes, I have? No, I haven't, and it's not showing over here. That could be a thing. Okay, I've seen one from Omomi. Omomi said hi. Omomi, hi to you. Now, okay. Okay, Mirabel. Mirabel is laughing. It seems this thing is really touch her. Mirabel, sorry. The way you laugh at this kind of situation, it shows that something terrible has happened relating to this. Now, Aruna said he has also experienced something like that. Now, in regards to this, instead of reading all night, and people have the habit of always reading before towards, I mean, like next day to exam. I would understand if you're a working class and then you have, for instance, myself now that I'm working and I'm also working part of doing social director at the MBA and also doing the MBA program, everything. I would understand because my time is kind of limited the way I can use, it, but I still try. But instead of doing that, after each class, let me tell you a method I used. After each class, pick up a book and try my best to. I pick up the book from the session. I try my best to read everything that was said, and then I write three, four, five sentences from what was taught that day. I don't. I pick up another book entirely. That's the book I use for my study. I write five sentences for everything that was taught that day. Those five sentences is going to be like the main frame of everything that was said that day. In my mind, I've read it. Those five sentences, I can expand on it from what I've read. Now you can adopt this method, really help you read better. They also help you recall actively. When you write down the points, write it down in a sentence. You're doing the sentence come back to you, then you now know, okay, you can now expatiate it. But if you're reading the whole paragraph, the whole book, it's very hard for you to be able to upload all that into your mind. I don't know if you guys are you guys following me? Are you getting these methods that I'm dropping from here and there? I hope you're able to put them together and learn to better yourself in the way you manage education, side also, and then building a future. Now, this method of writing it down, active work session, deep work, like I said, use the Pomodoros for deep work, where you sit down and read non-disturbed.
Hi everyone. So I think it lost connection. All right. So I was saying that it lost connection and it should join us soon. But from one of the things that I think is trying to emphasize is creating a strategy that works for you. And in as much as it's sharing some strategies that has been working for him, I believe that I think the last edition I spoke about understanding the structure and systems that would work for you to be able to prepare better academically, particularly regarding preparing for exam, not last minute planning. Because when you try that, I tried it one time and I literally got confused in the exam hall. I got stranded, right? And if you are one of those people that you will set formations with your friends, that I will sit beside you, you sit in front of me, you sit behind me. Oh my god, you may end up getting what you get from Temo. What I ordered versus what I got. So maybe at the entrance they will destroy your formation, and you don't want life to happen to you in that sense. So you want to make sure that you are prepared ahead of time for exams. Those that and one of the things I always keep emphasizing that you don't want to compare yourself with your friends that can easily cram and read. Just like you said that for him, he's able to just read and write out sentences that will work. For some people, if you write those sentences, it still will not stick. I don't know if you can relate. So don't try to copy somebody else's formula, right? But understand what will work for you. So you can adopt that if it's going to work for you. But if it's not, figure out something that works for you. And I think I also shared back then that personally, one of the things I had to start doing was to start reading very early, because I realized that for me, I don't assimilate so fast. I have to read one thing over and over and over again. I mean, I'll read it today, and then by the time I'm trying to remember tomorrow, it's as if they have used eraser to clean everything away, and I can't remember. And I began to wonder, is somebody messing with my brain? What's happening? Is it that they are deleting the files from my memory? Or or did they come to carry it away as I slept? And it did not make sense to me. But I later understood that what works for some of my friends that had sharper brains was not working for me. And so if I try to compare myself, so they are playing, they are chilling, they are on TikTok, spending all their, which is this person that, Felicia, your camera is turned on. I think you want to do us the favor of turning it off. Thank you very much. Okay. All right, so I was saying that I had to realize that what works for my friend, right, who would probably just spend their time chilling and enjoying, having fun, does not work for me. So if I try to follow their format, I would literally just be on my own in the exam hall. So I had to start reading, and in as much as it was a struggle at first, I would read and then forget again the following day. I would read and then struggle to remember. I did not give up. I know some people may be in that category where you probably read sometimes and then there's that struggle to recollect. Ah, why am I forgetting? There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with your brain, I tell you. Some of us are like that. And the kicker here is that even with that kind of memory, I still finished with a very good grade, right? I still finished with first class in school. I mean, every semester. So it is not that you need a magnetic brain to come out excellently in school or to have an excellent grade. You only need to be committed, understand what works for you, put the right structures and systems in place that would help you at your own pace. Don't follow your friends. You don't even know where they're going to. Don't try to copy. They used to say follow who no road. But some people that you think they know road, they don't know what is working for you. Right? Don't try to compare somebody else. You're not in competition with anybody but yourself. You are not trying to. In fact, the idea is not that you must come first in your class. In fact, there's no first position in the university. I hope you know. So nobody is chasing you that, oh, you must. There's first, second, and third. You just have to be in your own lane. Set your own pace for yourself. And for me, I had to write down the CGPA. I don't know if our speaker is back on the call. Please just let me know so that I'm not just talking. I'm trying to keep us engaged till he gets back. I'm trying to just keep us engaged till he gets back. So I was saying that I started off my own first semester writing down the CGPA I wanted for myself. Even though I did not believe it all, at least at that time when I wrote it, I was still reading and forgetting. But by faith, I wrote it. And then I started working towards it. I mean, by the time you have, the Bible says that you should write the vision, make it plain and run with it. By the time you already have the vision, you know what you are chasing. You will not be so relaxed and sleeping when you know that you have a lot to do. And so day after day, even before exams will start, even before tests start, I had started writing my, preparing. I started studying bit by bit. The things I would forget, I would go back and read again. And I realized that the more I kept reading and reading that same thing, I mean, I can be on one page for 1 week. It was that bad. I can be reading one page. In fact, I can be reading one line for almost 30 minutes and it will not sink. It was that bad. So I'll be repeating it aloud. And those days I'll be very angry with myself. That what's going on? What am I using my brain to do? And I would still be reading one line, but I made sure that I kept at it. I did not get discouraged. Yes, I was discouraged at some point, but I didn't give up. I think I should say, yeah, I didn't give up. So I had to continue with making sure that I was resilient, I was dedicated, I was focused. I understood also how to manage my time well. And that's one of the things that a lot of us struggle with. We lack time management. You want to do everything. You are involved in every activity at the same time. And at the end of it all, you think I have enough time. I will read my books later. I will study later. Have you realized that later never comes until when they paste the exam timetable? That's when you know that you are already late. Has that happened to anybody before? So it is when you've seen that they've pasted time and you start praying and fasting that they should shift the exam date. It will not happen, bro. So they won't shift the exam date. You have to start preparing ahead of time. You have to make sure that you study what, if the same 24 hours is what, Funke Akindele, many of us, You see the amazing things that if you know from Kakidele, that's the movie, the actor and producer. You see how amazing, she keeps working and showing up. You see the amazing things she does. She's a lawyer, a filmmaker as well. And then the same 24 hours that she has is what you have that you cannot manage well. If a lot of people that you look up to are able to maximize that 24 hours and use it well, that means you can actually do it. The only thing is you need to understand how to manage that time well. And how you can get to do that is to cut off excesses. What are the things that actually take your time? I mean, the time you spend on some gist. I mean, some, not just even gist, some gossip. Some of us know those sweet gist that you have with your roommates and your friends that you know that does not do you any good. All right, you can try to cut it off. If you have that friend that always have new gist every time, how about you think of how you can, create a separate place for yourself that you can start studying, right? And also preparing systems and structures that works for you. Don't try to be reading in the night when you know that it is not the time for you, because your friend will be reading at night, and then you also want to be like them. Let me also be a night. It looks like it's only serious people that used to read at night. And I said, with the kind of result I had my first semester, I did not used to do any night reading. I tried it and I was always sleeping throughout. I mean, if I pretend that, oh, I'm reading for 4 hours, I've used 3.5 hours to sleep. I mean, I'm dozing. I know that if you're dozing, it's not like you're even sleeping, but you're just stressing yourself. So I would, even the 30 minutes that I think I used to read, I don't used to, it's not like it entered. So I knew I was deceiving myself. I had to now figure out that I understood that night reading was not my thing at the time. Then I decided that I would start reading during. So whilst others will be doing other things with their day, I'm always with my book. And when they are up at night, I'm sleeping like a baby, enjoying, the sweet dreams. So I did not try to copy. I tried it. It didn't work for me. So number one, understand what will work for you. Know how you're going to be able to manage your time well. Time management is key. If you cannot make out time while you're in school, when you graduate, you still will not have time. Because life after school is busier than when you are still a student. If you want to attain excellence as a student, you want to also begin to think about, the kind of network that you have, the kind of relationship you keep, the kind of people you network with, the kind of people that you are always in talks with, right? The kind of people that inspire you, your friends. If your roommate does not inspire you, don't let that one be your roommate. Then look for somebody else, either in your class or in other classes that you think, oh, maybe you can start reading together. I said that for me to have been able to have a good grade in my first semester was an influence of somebody. It's not that we were even close, but right from the first few weeks of we resuming, she said something that we should start coming to sleep in school, start studying. My mind, it did not make sense. Like, when did we resume school? That you want me to be reading? And then she was someone that lives very close to school. And then I was wondering, why was somebody that lives close to school? I attended Yaba Tech then, right? And if you are in Yaba at the time, I don't know if it's the same now. At that time, there was bed bug, there was mosquito, and then somebody knew all of these things and still was willing to sacrifice her sleep to come to school to be studying at night. Exam has not come, test has not started, the first month of resumption. And it sparked my brain that people are actually taking this thing and trivializing seriously. And because of that, I told myself that if she's going to be studying while she's coming to school to start sleeping, sorry, not even sleeping, to start reading at night, I mean night reading, if she's going to start coming to school at that time, that I will be doing my night reading at home. Of course, guess what happened? I was sleeping. Anyways, but it inspired me, right? It pushed me. And it was during those times that I knew that, okay, night reading was not my thing, and I started reading during the day. So I started reading early enough. So I'm going to pause here because of our time. Time is fast spent, and our next speaker is already here. So I want to ask if you have questions. I don't know if our speaker is still back on the call. If it's not, yes, we'll just take questions. If you have questions, now is the time to just drop them in the chat for. I think just take 2 questions. So if you have questions, if you want to also unmute your mic, you can raise your hand, and then I would know how many people. If we don't have questions, we'll just go straight. second session, right? And the key thing I just want you to take out from this first session is that it's possible for you to come out well, regardless of whatever struggle, whatever past you've had before with your academic. And one other thing I would like to also say is that I know people may have, or you may be the people, right, that may have had maybe carryovers before in school. And then you are doubting that, is it still possible for you to finish well? Yes, it is. And my friend, while I was in school, my roommate, my best friend then, she had carryover in our first year. And I was there when we saw the result. And she was crying so much as though somebody died. And I was wondering, is it that serious? But of course, I did not want to have the carryover. But then, when it happened, she did not just cry that day and then clean her face with handkerchief and then continue doing things the way she was. The things that she did afterwards inspired me also to. She would, from that time, I mean, the second semester, she made sure that she was so committed to studying more, to reading more. The topics that were not clear to her, she started looking for how to learn them before exam. I remember that I used to have I would organize tutorials for my classmates then after school. In fact, I was always going home very late at night. My auntie would be concerned that why am I always coming very late? So I would stay back after school just to teach any of my friends that say, oh, they have any issues, particularly with accounting. And so even after having a general accounting class with them, she would still not understand. She was very, very poor with maths. She was very, very poor with calculation courses. She did not even like it. It was kind of like an enemy. But thankfully, I'm someone that is very patient with teaching. And in as much as I have taught every other person over and over again, I will still have to. She will still come and meet me again. This is somebody that is older than me. I did not look at the fact that, oh, she is, you know, much more older than I am. But she would always come and meet me and ask me to still teach her again. That she knows she's very slow, blah, blah, blah. And so some of us have to humble ourselves, right? All the shoulder pad you have been crying about does not help you. If anybody around you has what you don't have, go and look for them. Beg them if you have to. Buy them something if you have to. Bribe them. Whatever it is that you must do. Bring down all the shoulder pad you have and make sure that you look for how to actually, learn this thing. And by the time she was done, she finished with a second class upper. One of my friends also that is very close to me also had, I think, 2 points. I mean, our results in the first semester was not so good. But I tell you that in the coming semesters, through dedication and of course good network, we had to start reading together. We're always going to library to study. You don't have to go to library, everybody is not supposed to be in library to study, but wherever it is that you can read. But we would always push ourselves, and from there each one of us had an excellent result by the time we're done. So no matter how you started, you can finish well. Sammy Graphics, please mute your mic. Sammy Graphics, like if that's your name, thank you. So no matter how you started, no matter where you are now, your grades can be better. It depends on how hungry you are and how much growth, how much of excellence desire that you can also work towards. So thank you very much, everyone. I think I'll just wrap up here. The speaker is not here again. I've not seen any questions. If you have questions, you can raise your hand. If you have any questions.
I'm here. Oh, sorry.
Hey, I've been waiting for
Good
you.
evening. Sorry, my
Okay.
network. I just disappeared.
Okay. So I was already wrapping up. I was wondering if they have questions, so that maybe you can just take the questions because of time.
Okay. Because of time. Okay. I'm so sorry, guys. So sad. I have so much to talk about, but our time is so limited, and I have to respect everybody's time. So unfortunately, hopefully we meet again very soon. I'll be able to, go in detail to some of the things I wanted to talk about. Regardless, can we um can we ask our questions? You're free to ask me any kind of question. And I was at the point where we talk about study, deep study, having your schedules right, learning a particular way of learning, your thoughts together before the network just disappears. It's crazy. So if you have questions, please bring it on.
Yeah, Damola, you can unmute your mic and speak.
All right. Good evening, Thank you so much for this session. God bless. So I wanted to ask that in a situation whereby you are acquainted with a lot of things, you want to learn, you are still in school, you still want to be excellent in your school, your academics, and still you don't just want to be all in your academics, you really want to be in almost all places, like you just want to get it before you finish school. And yes, you still don't want to live your like don't want to live that your pleasure life, or you don't really like me. I love seeing movies. I don't think I can stop it, although it affects me most times. You don't want to stop
Um,
seeing movies, and
yes.
you don't want to live some things. So what do
Okay.
you do in this type of thing? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
So how do we manage our time? How do we become how do we become disciplined? Like it's not be as if you'll be disciplined for 1 week and the second week could even be worse than how you started off. So that's my question. Thank you.
Okay, that question kind of sums up the other part of my session. My session was long ago. Thank God that we ended. Thank God she said I should end. It was almost 80 slides. Just joking. No, to about 20 slides. Okay. So the first thing you have to figure out is what is your why? What is your why? Now you have so much you want to achieve. Every human at this stage or that stage that you are really don't even have a direction. So it's good that you have a direction. You know the things you want to do. But then you have to sit yourself down and ask yourself, what is the why? Why is a very strong question because why is a very I mean say, okay. So the why is a very good question because it helps you sit down and then you think well and know the reason why you're doing certain things. Then you look at your schedule and everything every 24 hours. You know, I was talking about the hours and minutes, 86,000 seconds we have in a day. Look at each and every one of the things you're doing and then look for what is productive, what is leading in a direct path or in a particular part, and what is what is wasting your time. Immediately you're able to establish that, and then you know your why for the ones that you're doing already. Okay, you said that oh, you love to watch movies. What's your why? Yes, it's leisure, but too much of it, and when there's no why. I mean, if you're watching movies so much and because you want to be an actor, yes, that's the why. But watching techniques, how people are talking, you know, how people are acting, that's your why. It makes sense. But you cannot sit down and watch movies all day when your why or your path in life is not going towards that direction. Now, if it's for leisure, like I was talking about the Pomodoro effect, for leisure, that 20 minutes is not enough to watch a movie. So maybe you can find another, maybe by the time you have done deep work from the first 25 minutes, then you know you take 5 minutes rest, do the next one for 45 minutes, and then maybe when it extends to the point where you now have a lot of time, you can now watch movies. But don't spend the whole day watching movies. Career part is not movie. Just like a young guy I told yesterday, he's always in the church. Every time he's always in the church. Each day is in the church. I asked him, do you have plans to become a pastor? He said no. What are you always doing in the church? Don't you have a part that there's nothing you want to achieve in life? What are you doing? I mean, we all love God. But before Jesus speak his disciple, he made
I guess yes. I guess it's a network again. Okay. I think just to buttress it point. Hopefully you join us again because I was really loving what. But to what you said, Damola, is one thing I can totally relate to when I was. So one of my, not even one of my major hobby is watching movies, and I enjoy it so much that I could spend days watching a movie and I won't finish. But I told myself that I had to have a priority for my. So even before I entered the university, when I was preparing for jam, because I love movies so much, I started to use it as a motivation. So I would read for like 30 or 1 hour. I think for about an hour. I would study for 1 hour. I was praying for jam. I'll study for 1 hour and then I'll watch movies for 30 minutes. Then study for another 1 hour. Watch movies for 30 minutes. The idea was that I was now looking forward to, oh, let me quickly just study this and finish up and then, make progress with it so that I can reward myself with something. So I use it as something to reward myself as I study, instead of it being the only thing I focus on. And then when I got to the university, I had to decide that I would turn it down. I had to discipline myself. So I decided that I would only watch movies maybe on weekends instead of during the week. So that during the week, I focus on my academics and then spend my weekend to just relax and chill. Because of course, all work and no play, it makes Jack a dull boy. So I didn't want to be a dull girl. So I had to look for a way to balance both of them. But that aside, there's what we call there's a way you can prioritize your work such that the things you want to do, you are interested in doing so many things, but understand that you're only one person and you can't be everywhere, because in the long run they'll say jack of all trade is master of. So it's better to pick up the things that you think are priorities for you. If there are things that you want to learn, pace yourself. For this first semester, I'm only going to learn this one thing while I focus on my academics, instead of trying to do 10 things at the same time. I'm still doing that till date. For this year, I've decided that as a graphic designer, I want to learn a particular tool only this year. If I tried it before that I want to learn all the tools, it did not work. So I said I will focus on one tool per year instead of trying to do 10 tools at the same time, because that is much more effective for me. So have high priority tasks, right? Such that for your day, these are things that are very, very, very important that I do. Then the other things that are not so important, you make them low priority and you do them last. So the things that are very important, such as studying, such as going for lectures, and maybe going for you have some social events, because you should have a social life while you're in school too. So create time for them. If you can, set alarms for yourself. If you can, have a to-do list. If you know you cannot work with to-do list, you can just use an alarm and be very, very disciplined with working with. I don't know if that makes sense. Did I answer your question? Because of time. I don't know if our speaker is back now, but we really need to wrap up now because of our next speaker is on the call already. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, yes, thank you.
Okay. Welcome. Any other questions before we move?
Thank you.
Do you have any other question? Any other question? Just one more. Okay, so I should take it that you don't have questions. Okay, I think there are some chat box. All right. Right, I'm going to ask him if he's able to share tips on how to stay consistent. Okay, regarding consistency, I'll try to rush all those questions because of time. So in terms of consistency, what has always worked, there are several things, right? There's the part of having an accountability partner, somebody that you can be accountable to for you to be consistent. I have a video on my YouTube channel that talks about how to be consistent. If you search on YouTube, see the video and then you'll be able to learn from it, right? It's very detailed. But one thing that would help you stay consistent, number one, is knowing your why. Like you said, if you don't know why you're doing it, struggle to have a strong why, to know this is why I want to be showing up. This is why I want to study all the time. And then sometimes it helps to have, if it is maybe you want to be consistent in studying, it helps to have a specific time and a specific place of study. What I mean is that you may want to create a place in your room where you can study, and also choose a time that you want to dedicate for studying. So that way, it takes time, but after a while, your body system would get used to that. By this time, I'm supposed to be doing. So over time, you can also get a friend that can be, an accountability partner to encourage you. And like I said, I use something as a motivation for myself. So there can be a reward system for yourself if you want to help yourself stay consistent. There are times when presently, if I want to be consistent and do something, and I tell myself that if I'm able to finish up this thing, I get myself ice cream just to reward myself for doing it. If I don't get it done, then I don't get the ice cream. Does that make sense? So there is something that you think would really push you or that would encourage you. Just look out for that thing that can be a motivation system for yourself. Get an accountability partner. Also fix a time that works for you. Then how do you create interest for courses you have no interest in? You can't force out interest if you don't have interest in it. But at the same time, I have seen people that they started learning some things that they didn't have an interest in, but over time they got an interest in it. So I would say you start with things that you have passion for, right? And see how you're able to from there, learn and build on it. But then if you don't have an interest in that thing, you want to look out for certain, maybe, I don't know, factors and or things that you think you can relate to your real life experience with the course you're studying, because that's going to make it better. You should do things that you enjoy doing, not things that you are enduring, if that makes sense. So if that course not flowing for you, don't force it to. Just try to look out for something else that is of interest to you, right? And the last question I would say, because of time, okay, if you find yourself in, sorry, you talked about your classmates having some courses to find yourself in such, how do you actually, if when you have something doing as well? So it's about putting systems and structures in place. So it's I know if you're talking about rewriting a course, right? I know that there are usually timetable for each of the courses that we write. So you want to, number one, pay attention to timing for whatever classes that you have for yourself that you need to write again. I hope that's the question you're asking, David. If not, please let me know in the chat so that I'm able to. But my point is, know what time works for, the timing for each of them. And there are times when, again, you don't have to be all classes all the time. It's not even like you study anyways. But my point is, sometimes you have to now weigh your options. If one is of more priority to the other, and then see how you can balance everything. If it is that maybe one particular course, maybe the one you're trying to rewrite, there's a test supposed to do. Of course, you know that you have to forego any other class that clashes with to attend the class, right? And if there are cases where you think you have an exam that clashes with another exam, then you have to reach out to your school, authorities to help you fix that, because most times they try not to make courses clash like that. But my point is, set out, create a system that will work for you such that you are able to balance the class that you, other things that you have with that class, because you don't want to keep repeating the same course over and over again. You want to just finish it well. And again, it helps to understand what works for each lecturer. For some lecturer, they prioritize attendance more than test. For some lecturers, they prioritize assignment more than test. For some, they prioritize test more than assignment. So which of these things, that particular course, what is most important to the person, the lecturer that is taking it? If it is the assignment that is most important, then you want to make sure that every assignment that they do, that they're asked to do, make sure that you submit them. If it is test that is most important, you want to make sure that you prepare for that. You may not even have to attend all the classes. I don't know if that makes sense. So know what is priority so that you can just build structure around it. So I'm going to just see Atomic Habits. I have the book Atomic Habits. I'll send it